Hello again, this is Colin Goble. Let's continue this tutorial then by making our little Mario guy move to the right and the left and under the control of the keyboard keys. So we're going to need another sprite. Let's duplicate this sprite, and instead of calling this sprite Sprite 1, let's rename it. The name that I'm interested in here, of course, is going to be SPR Mario Walk Left. Now right now Mario walking left is exactly the same animation if I edit this as Mario walking right. But what I am going to do is I'm going to transform this, and I'm going to mirror this. I'm going to flip this in the vertical direction. So if I click on this, then whoops, I didn't mean to do that one, did I? So let's mirror it horizontal. And now we've got exactly the same set of images, but I flipped everything moving right to left. And as you can see, we now have in one click, a pretty good image of Mario moving to the left. So let's save that. Let's OK that. There are some sprites of Mario walking right, Mario walking left. Let's just grab one more sprite while we're at it. Let's add a sprite. This one is going to be Mario SPR Mario, and this will be Mario not moving. So I'll just call this Mario standing, say. Let's call this Mario standing. Let's edit the sprite again. Let's go to the File menu. Let's create from a strip. We use the same strip we used before. I'll open that strip, and in this case, Mario standing is going to be, I want it to be that guy there. So I only want one image. This isn't going to be animated. I want one image per row. I'm going to move that right over the top there. Right now it's a width of 22, height of 32, and that probably looks as though it's going to be exactly correct for our purposes. So I'm just going to click on OK there. I've pulled one sprite out of the sprite sheet. There it is. There's the preview. Looks good. Let's save that. And let's OK that. So I'm going to make one change here. When Mario starts, let's associate Mario standing with that particular sprite. Let's OK that. And now what we need to determine here is if the right key is pressed, we'd like Mario to turn into the image moving right. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's double click on Mario. Let's add an event. The event that I'm interested in is the keyboard event. And the event that I'm interested in is if the right key is depressed. Now remember, with the keyboard event, the event triggers every game frame when the right key is depressed. So the keyboard event triggers all the time the right keys down. That's not the same thing as the key press event. The key press event only happens when you press the key down. So this one is continuous. This one happens only once. In this case, I want it to be continuous on the right key. So we'll leave it at that. Now, when the right key is depressed, there's two things I want to do. First of all, I want to move Mario to the right. So let's assume that I want to move Mario 2 pixels, let's say 5 pixels to the right if the right key is pressed. So I'm going to take jump to a given position. I'm going to change the x coordinate by 5, which is the horizontal distance, and I'm going to make it 5 pixels relative to Mario's current position. So I'm going to click that relative button. Now at this point, of course, if I run the game and I press the right arrow, Mario moves to the right just like that. But what we'd like to have happen is if I press the right arrow, we'd like to change the image associated with Mario to the image where he's walking to the right. Okay, let's close this. Let's go back over here. Let's look at oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's go to the Mario object here. And let's look at what we have. Now there's an image here, there's an icon here on the second tab down, main one, which says change the sprite. So I'm going to use that action. I'm going to change the sprite, and the sprite that I'm going to change the Mario object into is Mario walking right. Now if I'm not careful here, If I set that to sub image 0, what's going to happen is the animation will start playing from the beginning on every frame of the game, and so it won't look as though the animation is playing at all. What I'd like to do is just continue the animation in every frame, so I'm going to set the sub image that I want the animation to begin with. I'm going to set that to -1. For right now, let's set the speed to 1, and let's click the OK button, and let's see what happens. So I run the game now, I press the right arrow, and there's Mario moving to the right. Now when I release the right arrow, of course, Mario's still moving to the right. So obviously I need to make one more change. And the event that I need to add now on Add Event is if that key is released, I'll do a key release here. If the right key is released, in this case what I want to do is change the sprite back. And I want to change it back into the Mario standing sprite. So now what should happen if I run the game is I press the right key here, he moves to the right, I release the key and he stops still. I move to the right, he stops. I press the key and he stops. Okay, seems to be working very well. So now what we'll do is we'll do exactly the same thing with the left event. So I'm going to add an event. The event that I'm interested in is the keyboard event on the left key. In this case, there's two things I want to do. I need to move Mario 5 pixels to the left, which of course is -5. That also needs to be relative. I'm going to jump Mario 5 pixels to the left. I'm going to change the sprite, and the sprite that I'm interested in here is Mario walking left. For the same reason, I need to set it to sub-image -1, which will have the positive effect of continuing the animation every frame of the game, and I'll leave the speed set to 1. And of course, if I release the left button, I need also to bring Mario to a stop. So I'll add another event. This will be the key release. If I release the left button, then the other thing that I need to do now is change the sprite, and the sprite that I put it back to is Mario standing. Okay, so if I run this game now, what should happen is Mario goes to the left and stops, to the right and stops, and now Mario goes to the left and stop by using the left and right arrow keys. Very, very good. Should be excellent in order to help you do, for example, a maze game, or in the future a platform game. Well, I hope this demo helps you to understand how to use sprite sheets and animated GIFs. They're handled really very, very well in GameMaker, and I hope you enjoy using them. Thank you.